Hey guys, here's everything you will need to install halo lights on your BMW. I'm installing these switchback cotton head halos. And here's what you need. I'm going to go from left to right. The first thing you need is a hot glue gun. Then you'll need a lighter, pair of scissors, heat shrink tubes. You'll need extra wires. You will need pliers. You will need a pry tool, a pick, X-Acto knife, crimp connectors, um, or these connectors. I don't actually know what they're called, um, but I will show you how to work them and how they work. They're nice and waterproof and make it, whatever you install, it will make it plug and play. So I definitely recommend these. Another thing you will need is double-sided tape. This is a double-sided Gorilla tape. It's clear, and I'll show everything, how to use everything on this. Another thing that you'll need is um, this is a electrical tape, but it's for engine bay. This is what they use. This is what manufacturers use. Very useful, very helpful. Makes it look really nice, and it really makes your install looks professional. Next thing you'll need is some kind of a wire stripper. This is a fancier one. You can get one for like $3 at Harbor Freight or at Walmart. They're very cheap. This is a fancier one. I just find them useful. You'll need zip ties. Um, you will need a ratchet and 8mm socket and some kind of an extension to take out the actual headlight. I want to tell you about the lights so you know what you're installing. These are switchback cotton angel eyes or halo lights, whichever one you want to call them. That means they have, instead of two wires and just a positive and negative, they have three wires. They got positive, negative, and the blinker. In this case, it's pretty basic. Red is the positive, black is the negative, yellow is the blinker. And I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you how bright they are and how it works. So what you do is this is a 12 volt that I always use. I find them really helpful. It's a plug into a wall, but that way I can test all the electronics before I actually install them. Here we go. Let me turn down the brightness here so you can see just a bit better. Here we go. You can see it better now. But here's how it works. So I got positive and negative hooked up right now. So these are your daytime running lights. Sorry, they're flashing because it's a loose connection. But you can run these with your parking lights. You can run these anytime the car is on. It is up to you how you wire it. I will show you whenever I decide which one I want to do, which will be by the end of this video. And this wire is the blinker wire. So this is the yellow wire. So anytime this gets 12 volts, it overrides the white and it turns into orange. So I'll show you right here. So now it's orange. The way the blinkers work, there's a flasher relay. So it just sends 12 volts. It's like pulses. So here you go. That would be your blinker. And then when it's done, it'll go back to white right here. I think it's a really cool feature, and I think it's worth it. I honestly don't see why not to install it. But that's how it works. Pretty basic, 3 wires, and we will be setting up these 3 wires. And I'll show you in details of how to do it. Yeah, let's go to the next step. I think there's 7 clips. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th one is this one right here. So you gotta pop them all off. I'm gonna start from the top ones. So you kind of want to lift it. This one is easy with fingers. I lift it and separate it just a bit. I lift it enough so it keeps the clip up without it snapping back in place. So I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Lift it and flex it just a bit. Now, if it's cold outside and you're trying to do this, the plastic is more brittle when it's cold, so you might want to like burn it inside so it warms up to like a more room temperature, or throw some heat on it so the plastic is just more flexible to prevent these plastic clips from breaking. So this is lifted right here. Gonna release. Same thing right here on this edge, and this is where it's like the fingers can be like little. It can be tough on fingers. This is when it's convenient to use a pry tool. Here we go. I got this lifted. Now the three on the bottom will come out fairly easy. There's one, there's two, and there's three right here. So right now, all of them right here, it's partially separated. This is the last clip, and this clip is kind of an annoying clip. Here it is. It's a stiffer one. So you definitely want to use a pry tool. Here we go. I pried it open. The light comes apart very easily. Okay, guys. So here we go. We have the open headlight. Now we gotta take these glass pieces out. Sometimes I do recommend before doing it, before like really messing with them, or at least before you put them back in, is to wash your hands and then also wipe the lenses. This is why I didn't mention, but this is why you'll need a towel as well. Is to clean the lenses. That way you don't have any fingerprints on it. And you can. This one is actually like the lenses are dirty. I don't know if you guys can tell. But this, because the other light was completely clean. This one is a little dirty and also has some dust specks, so maybe it didn't seal as well last time. But this is where our pick tool will come in handy. We need to take out these clips right here. There's two clips on each light right here, and I found the best way of doing it is to pry on the edge of it. You can see it right here. So I just kind of wedge it in there. It's in there now, and you can just pull it up. That is the easiest way I found it to do it, and it's still on there. So you really want to make it work. But here, there's one. Set them aside. Make sure you don't lose them because you will need them to hold the lens back on. So I'm gonna just set them right here for now. And when they do come off, they just come right out. These are glass, so be careful. And I don't know if you can tell right here, but these are actually foggy. Like they have that fog on the inside, like your windshield would get. Um, so definitely want to clean these up, make sure they're nice and clear. Haven't really touched the bottom, but you can tell they're foggy. We can clean them up, and right there. But yeah, so be careful with these. They are glass. Don't worry. You're not gonna mix up which one's which. They have these little notches right here, and they have a notch in the piece of plastic right over here. So you won't mix up which one goes where. That's not a big deal. You can just set them aside and not worry about them for now. Now that I have this, I cleaned it up a bit. There was a dead moth inside, and I still need to wipe down the rest. But make sure you clean the inside of it, and the outside is nice to clean. That way your hands stay somewhat clean and not dusty, which helps. Okay, so first, now you gotta test fit them. You know, every car is a little different. These were like, I think it was like E46 and E39. Don't exactly remember what the eBay ad said. Yes, I got them on eBay for about $45 or $50. But they do seem like a nice quality, not some cheapo garbage that you would get on eBay. But you gotta test fit them. Now, since I already did one light, I know they don't fit, and I know what needs to be done. But that's how they're gonna go. And the goal is to make this light as flush with this plastic frame, so that way we can put our glass piece, sorry, go like this, our glass piece right over it, and it would fit right in. That would be the goal. And so we're gonna make that work. So first few things we gotta do is cut notches right at the edge right here and right here. So I'll show you. I'm gonna cut one right here and cut one right here. I'm gonna bring the camera in closer and do that for you. Okay, guys, let me see here. So this is when my X-Acto knife will be handy, and where I'm gonna cut the hole is right here. I could use a drill and just drill a little hole. I'm just gonna use an X-Acto knife and just pretty much like scuff the surface just enough so these three wires can fit through it. It'll just help the glass sit flush. So let's do that real quick. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and change the angle. I think you guys will see it better if it's down lower. Here we go. So one thing to make sure that you want to do is first be careful when you cut it. You can cut yourself if you're not careful. I'm kind of doing like a V cut, so I cut a little bit and I do put my thumb over it because my thumb picks up whatever what are the little plastic bits, like right here. Right there, my thumb picked it up. That way they don't drop in the lens and then kind of stay there. And if the plastic does drop in the lens, make sure to clean it and be careful not to scratch the lens with the razor blade, because you are pretty close to the blade. But here we go. Just keep making those notches like this right here. See, I'm just going just a bit at a time. And again, there's a faster ways you can do it. I just want to use the common basic tools that everyone would have, because I know not everyone has a drill or drill bits to just make a nice and quick and easy little passage for the wires. So let me go ahead and finish this, and then I'll pick it up from there. Okay, I just finished making my little notches. There's one right here and one right here. I don't know, maybe you can see them better. No, you really can't see them better, but here you go. There's one. And there's two, and I think that is big enough to fit my three little wires in like a little pyramid shape. And that is all the cutting that you need to do. As far as cutting in plastic, I'm not gonna drill any more holes. I'm not gonna cut any more holes. I'm gonna use what the light already has. Okay, next step is the fitment that I was talking about. So how I did this, first, don't try to like jam it in there. It's just not gonna fit. Be smart. So go on the angle like this. Now it's inside. Get the wire out of the way. Try not to kink this too much. But right here, so I got it in there now, right? And now I have to make it as flush as possible. The goal is, and I'm gonna show you guys. Let's see if you can see this right here. For me, the way I wanted to do it is I did not want to see the rough edge where you can see the motherboard, or whatever the LED board you would call it. I did not want to see that, so I'd rather have the board be towards this wall right here and have it hidden and clean right here. So what that means, I hope that made sense too, but what that means is that this part, because this is not like a perfect fit, it's slightly larger, this part will go in further. So it won't sit flush, it will sit a bit lower. You can see there's a little lip. I know it's kind of hard to tell with the angle, but it is a little lower. I'm gonna actually change the camera angle here, so give me just a minute. Here we go. I think that is much better. So we're gonna take this right here, and you see it's gonna go a bit under, right there. It's gonna be a bit under. And what I'm gonna do is try to make this side as flush as possible. And it really doesn't take that long or that much effort to do it. Here you go. I'm already fitting it. So this side is tight right here. So I'm gonna hold it in place, and then I'm gonna raise this up just a tad bit, like this. Okay. So now it's in place. So pretty much I held this side flush against the plastic piece right here. Flush. It's very smooth. It's nice and soft right here. You see, it moves. I held that, and while I lifted this part up, so by up, it's towards the camera. Um, and when I lifted it up, it kind of like wedged itself in there. So now it's in there. You see that? But there is a little lip. There's a little drop and a little lip. So that's I think that's the best way to make these lights look good. I guess there is a possibility of cutting this so that way you have more flex, but I did not want to do that personally, so I avoided that the best I could. Our little wires right here, they're just gonna go right into our little groove, and we'll never have to worry about them again. Um, Here you go. I'm just gonna put them aside and not worry about that for now. The next thing, so I got the lights right. I got the lights right there, all all nice and flush. It's holding itself in place pretty good, but you could add tape if you are having a hard time. You could use masking tape. You could even use this electrical tape, but it's kind of expensive, so just use cheap tape to hold it in place when you apply hot glue. So the next step would be the hot glue. Um, I lowered my ISO so you can see a bit better. And I also applied tape. Although I don't need it, the tape is really just there right now. It's not really holding anything. But if you do need to use tape to hold something, this is how you would do it. You would just add some tape to the light and then just bend it around and make it stay. And when you hot gluing, you just kind of glue it around, then remove the tape after the glue is dry, and then glue the other areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to glue. Okay, here we go. So I got the hot glue. Um, Don't forget to move this kickstand thing out of the way because it will get in your way. It got in the way on my first light and it kind of like threw me off. But here we go. I'm just putting just a bit. I don't want to overdo it because this does get exposed to heat and the heat melts the glue. And so you might get drip lines, which you'll have to clean up later. It's not a big deal because you don't have to like reseal these headlights with heat, like like lots of cars, you have to bake the light. In this case, you don't have to do it. So this dries clear, so it will stay just like as it is right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the tape because I applied some right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply some right here to create the initial holds. I guess they call it an anchor or a hinge. In vinyl wrapping, they refer to a hinge a lot. Um, Here you go. I just applied some. Sorry you couldn't see the last one, but I applied some right here. And as you can see, here's my glue. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove this piece of tape as well. All right, here we go. Okay, I removed that piece of tape as well. And what I'm gonna do is glue this. And I'm just gonna squeeze steady and slow, so that way I don't overdo it on the glue, and it still looks clean. Although no one will ever see this, you want it to look nice and clean. That way you can be proud of what you do. You see that right here? The kickstand got in the way right here. The kickstand got in the way, and I couldn't do much. I can go ahead and zoom out here a bit. But look how clean that line is. For hot glue, I mean, it's not bad. It's not too much, not too little, enough to hold. It doesn't stick up too much like this right here. I'm probably gonna end up cutting this right here, but it doesn't stick up too much, so it's not gonna get in the way of our glass going back in. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go all the way around. Okay, in reality, it really just takes about 2 minutes to get this done. I think this is glued in good enough. I am definitely gonna trim some for a better fitment, but I will wait until I'm actually doing the fitment to do like serious trimming. Like this right here, there's obviously too much, so I can trim some off. Um, there's two options you can go about this taking care of this wire. You can put like tons of glue right here, hot glue, So that way the wire just kind of stays there and doesn't move and it's out of the way. But I don't recommend that. I know lots of people do it, but I don't recommend it because in this case, this glass can get hot, that glue's gonna melt, it's probably gonna drip down, right down the glass. So I definitely don't recommend that. So what I do recommend is using a double-sided tape, and that's what I have it for, is for little wire management and to get the wires out of the way. On the package, it said that it's not gonna melt till like ridiculous, like 200 degrees or something like that. Um, so this should be solid exactly for the application. Just kind of tucking it away right here, um, and and then organizing the wires, and I will show you what to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do this second ring, and I'm just gonna time lapse this, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay, here you go, guys. I glued both of them in right there. That's my second glue right there. Here you go. So not too much, not too little. Glue does create these little spider webs. Just make sure you get rid of them. Let me see here. You can't really tell that well. Here we go. Um, but yeah, just make sure you get rid of them. There's none going across the lens. But right here, so I got this glued in. I'm probably gonna add some more here just because I have the room and the ability. But at the same time, I don't want to add too much so it drips down and messes things up. I also need to clean the lens, huh? Um, but next thing I'm gonna do is test to make sure that they work. Okay, let's see if they work. I got my negative hooked up. I'm about to hook up my positive. There you go. Yep, they work. And then just to make sure, here we go. We got the orange still working. And the reason I'm double checking these is just to make sure, because we did do something. We just installed it, so we got to make sure that it's still working. And I will check multiple more times, step by step, just to make sure everything's working perfectly, so we don't have to backtrack and redo things. Okay, time to do some wire management here. What I am going to do is I gotta get these wires out of the way. You know, you can't have them run like this. You can't have them tucked in right here because this is where the glass is going in this little lip. Same with on this side. So you can't have them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have this wire. I'm gonna run it through here, up on this like a little corner area. You also don't want to run across this lens because that'll get annoying and get in the way. Um, and then you want to run it to this corner. This is where we're gonna run, and uh, this is towards the middle of the car. This is where we want them to end up. Do that. Okay, here we go. I added some tape right in here. There's tape right there, tape right there. I did put a new piece on here. The reason it wasn't sticking is because it had my dirty fingerprint on it. So make sure you don't have that, right? But everything's good. So I got the wires leading to here, and I will explain that in a minute. Okay, here's how we're gonna feed our wires. We removed this rubber boot, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed our driver. This is where the resistor and the flash relay are. Sorry, not the flash relay, but the switchback is. And what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and push both of these wires through our rubber hose right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the light out of the way. We don't need it right now. And the easiest way to do it is one at a time, and you just make it straight and kind of push it through just a bit more. Here we go. Okay, got one, and then another one right here. And the reason we're keeping this boot is just to make things, again, more watertight, more waterproof, and I don't like getting rid of factory things, to be honest. But here we go, and I'm gonna go all the way to the driver right here. So right here, now we got this like little L shape. We got the boot through. So now what I can do is now I can put both of these through this hole right there. this hole right there. And these are small enough that I don't need to drill out the little blocked half. But if they aren't small enough, you will have to drill out a black top, the blocked half, sorry, and then push them through. But with these lights, I don't have to do that. Make sure you have the flat part right here matching these two little lines right here, because this is the proper way of it going in right there. Okay, let me go ahead and close this. Now this does make it a little tighter fit, so we're gonna pull the wire through as much as we can, and here we go. So that is how I fed the wires without drilling through the plastic. Here we go. Okay, now on this side, this makes things a lot easier. Now we got these two plugs right here, and this is we're a little short on vinyl. I mean on wire, so I might actually trim the rubber boot. I did not have to do it on another one, but I might have to do it. I'm gonna attempt and plug these two into our headlight housing and slap them together. Okay, in this case right here, you see we're pretty short on wire right here. That actually might not quite make it, so I might have to trim to get more wire through. I think I'm gonna do that real quick. Sometimes you just have to adjust to what you have. So give me just a minute. Okay, to trim this boot, all I'm doing is just gonna cut off this 90-degree angle right here. Here we go. Pretty basic and simple. This way I can get the driver just a bit closer to this and give us a bit more wire to play with. Okay. I am putting this back through right here. Here we go. Here we go, like this right here. Okay, so that gives us a lot more wire to play with. I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way and grab our dirty light and feed the wires through. I'm gonna go with the boot. So you see now I'm able to get it much closer, and now I actually have flexibility. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip that around. Sorry for the shaky camera, but I flipped that around, and now we're gonna go ahead and attempt to plug both of these lights in. I'm actually going to lay this one down right here. Sorry guys, forgot to put a piece of tape right here so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, fix that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and plug the two together. It doesn't matter which one you plug. There are little directional errors that you will see, but then again, if you didn't order the same kit, you might not have the same thing. Now this one, I got plenty of wire to play with, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug the long one in first. It can go in only one way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and plug the, there you go guys, so you can see, plug the short wire in second. Here we go. Okay, so now that we have both of the wires plugged in, you gotta, because you will have a one wire is just longer than the other. That's just how it works. You want to make sure you tuck it in, and you gotta make sure it doesn't show on the lens when they go back in. Test fit, because we just still gotta do one more thing before we actually finish this. Test fit this. Looks like everything's good to go. I almost forgot, to be honest, but we gotta put our glass lenses back on. Okay, next step is that we do gotta put the lenses back on. So then again, there's that unique cutout that it won't let us mess up of which one goes where. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these down with a microfiber towel. Give me just a minute while I do that. Okay, here we go. I'm back. They're nice and clean now. Just make sure you don't touch the bottom that much. Let's see if I got the right ones in the right spots. And yes, I did. Here we go. Okay, so this one fits pretty well, and this one does fit pretty well right here. They do require a little pushing right here, but that's what these tabs are for. They are a lifesaver. So make sure you keep them. Make sure you don't lose them when you take them off. I'm going to go ahead and flip the light around and sit down and put these in. Okay, we got our wires fed through. We got this right here, which we'll clean up, and I will show you what to do. I will show you how to make it look professional, how to make it look nice. Um, so these supposed to go in like this. So we're gonna go ahead and connect the long wires together, like so. And it doesn't matter which one you plug into which one. Here we go. Okay, right here. I did put that little piece of tape right there to hold it, but it looks like it's not doing the greatest job. Which it doesn't matter as long as these wires are not in front of the lens, we are solid. Okay, here we go. I got this back on, and sorry, it's a little twisty and it's a little awkward with the camera, as I said before. But here we go. I got one light back on. Okay, right now it's all aligned, and all I have to do is just clip them in. So I'm just gonna right here. I'm just gonna start applying even pressure. What you don't want to do when you clip these in, it's I guess it's a helpful tip. Don't push like one side in and then not push the other one. Go evenly. So push it all evenly, because that way it throws it off and you might get like a little notch that's getting in the way because the whole cover is slightly twisted or slightly tilted the wrong angle. If you just do a bit at a time, here you go. I got this clip right here, and I'm just squeezing. There's another clip. This one is a bit tougher. This one right here. Here we go. Another clip. Another clip. These look like they're already in. This one's in. This one's also in. And the last one is this one right here. And make sure all of them clipped in. Don't forget about this one. It's an easy one to forget about. Okay. And all I did is just put my thumbs and squeeze right here and just apply pressure. Okay, my lens is not the best looking lens. It's a little messy, but I am gonna tint them, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, let's test everything. I'm gonna hook up my negative to negative and my positive to positive. Oh, there we go, you guys. It looks so good, and this was so easy to do. In reality, this took me about 15-20 minutes to really get it done. The longest part was to wait for the heat gun to heat up. Sorry, the glue gun to heat up. And then we got the orange, which works amazing. So everything works. And again, it is important to double check before you get too far ahead of yourself, and then it would just be the crappiest thing to put the car all together or put the lights back in and then just realize something's not working, something's not right. Okay, the next step is the wiring. Okay, guys, the next step is wiring. So it comes from hooking up everything, that everything looks good. We got this little mess right now going on. You really don't want to open your hood and see this. You really don't want, this like rubber stuff being exposed to the weather too crazily and to the heat of the engine. So you got to do this right here. This is how it's supposed to look like. This is what it looks like right now, or how it looks like right now. But this is the proper way. This is my positive and my negative, and this is my blinker. And I will explain why I did it in such ways and why I did it. why I did it this way, why I did a little plug right here. And then I do have exposed wire. The reason for this is because I still don't know how long of a wire I will need for for it to reach whatever I'm gonna hook these wires up to. That will be tomorrow that I'll do. But I will show you how to get this nice wiring harness, I guess you can call that, instead of this little garbage. In this step, I'm going to show you how to create these, how to set up these waterproof connectors. They're really nice because that makes it really plug and play. And if you really got to take the light out, it's not complicated. You just unclip these clips just like the factory ones. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this wire right here. This is very basic and very easy. I will need my pliers for this. But the first step, which I honestly forget half the time, you gotta put this on first. This is the little rubber seal that will just ensure waterproofness right here. And this wire is a bit thicker wire, but it still works right here. Okay, so it's not, now that that's on there and that's out of the way. Here we go. I'm going to show you how to put this up right here. Let me zoom in a bit closer. There we go. This is very basic. It's the same for all of them. They'll have the same idea. So you place your wire right into this little tunnel, channel, I guess, and then it has these little. And this wire is a bit thick. And I'm actually not using this wire. I'm using this for demonstration. But all you do right here is that let me see here. There you go. You squeeze those little side lips. You squeeze them to fold right over. See that? How they're folded over the wire? Now I'm going to take the one on this side, and this is where needle nose pliers are useful. Here we go. Okay, so now it's folded over. Let the camera zoom in right here. Now that it's folded over, you can see that most of the wire is nice and cramped in there, but I'm going to go and do the same thing with the bigger wings. Here we go. I'm going to cramp that. Go ahead and cramp this one as well. Here we go. So that is pretty basic, right? Pretty easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide this wire or this seal a bit closer. Now the square end, so the female end of the attachments would go into the short end, and you can get these on Amazon for very cheap. You do have to have this red tab. You see it's partially out. You can have it completely out, but it does need to be out for this to fit properly, and then this will lock it in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. Now it is supposed to go a specific way, and so if it's not going in, try flipping it around and putting it back in. But here we go. I got that in with no issues, no problems. Now I can do the second one and put it back in. And it's the same process. It's exactly the same process for all the wires for the other side. So if I had another wire right here, it would be exactly the same process, and it would go in there just like that. And then this thing would be the same. And after this wire is in right here, you see it creates that nice tight seal. I still put tape over here, just to make sure. And also, I don't like how lots of wires that tend to flex right here, right in the middle. So the tape just adds a little additional structural support to it, so the wire is not as bendable and doesn't get destroyed faster. And then all you do, so after you have all this together, and I'm not going to finish this thing, but after you have all this together, all you do is just close it in like this, and you have your connection. Then you just unhook it. So I did this for the positive and the negative, and that is important. Okay, guys, I just got this installed right here. It was pretty easy, super simple.
And I also crimped this connection on right here. This is for orange light. This is for a blinker. So what I'm gonna do is put this through like this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and heat it. This is our shrink tube, or the shrink insulation, I guess. Gonna go ahead and heat it. Make sure it stays in place. It does get pretty hot, so make sure don't touch the metal or don't overheat it, so start melting things. Here we go. You see it's shrinking. Very easy, very basic. You could just use electrical tape. I feel like this is cleaner and better. There's many different ways you could do it. Here we go. I'm not gonna worry about it because this thing is just a little too big for the wire right here, and it's a good size for the round part right here. You see, it's nice and hot now. The next thing I'm gonna show you is how to tape this and make that little Y split, because we will need that, and make this nice and secure. For the next step, we will need this is our tape, like an engine bay, like heat resistant tape, and we'll need scissors to cut it. Pretty basic and pretty simple. So what I'm gonna do is apply it right over here. I'm gonna go ahead and start right where my driver box is. I don't know if that's the proper name for it, but that's what I'm calling it. Right there. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and angle my tape a bit, and then just go in circles like this.
Okay guys, I was going to show you how to use a multimeter to test which light is the correct one, or which wire is the correct wire to tap into, but I was actually unable to do that because the pins are so small. I cannot reach the connections with my multimeter. I ended up googling it instead, so I'm just going to tell you what they are. On this side, it is the blue wire with the green stripe. That is your blinker wire, and that's the one you want to tap into. That's the one you want to tap into for your blinker wire. Okay, so for this side, to tap into this wire, I'm gonna use one of these. You can buy them at Harbor Freight, probably Walmart as well. But they're like a quick connector. They work pretty well. I don't think I mentioned them in the beginning, but that's what we're gonna use. Okay, so I took off some insulation here, some of the tape right there to expose the wire a bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into tap into it with this. And what I gotta do is I gotta take my wire, I gotta put it to in one of the ends, the one that has the dead end. You kind of can see right here, one side goes all the way through and one doesn't. You want to put it right there. You want to have your pliers right by your side, and what you want to do is, let me turn on the light, maybe you'll see better. Okay, so what you want to do is put this wire over like this, so that's on there now, and then take your new wire. Now we're gonna crimp this metal piece right here. Very easy to use, very simple. Here we go. I'm gonna just give it a slightly better crimp from different angles. Here we go. Now that it's nice and closed in, you can just go ahead and lock it in place like this. Here we go. This should have a nice and solid connection now. Okay guys, I got the light in. It's not fully in. I will take it out again before it's completely installed. But I want to show you what I'm doing next. I gotta cut the wires to right lengths. So I gotta figure those lengths out. My positive right here. Here's my positive. My positive will connect to the daytime running light. That is how I decided to hook it up to daytime running light. And my blinker light will connect to my third yellow wire connector right here. Very simple, very easy. I will go ahead and do that right now. Okay guys, so I got the light in. I'm just gonna make sure everything works. So give me just a minute here while I plug everything in. Let me show you. Right there. I'll lower this so you can see better. Oh, here we go. And let's turn on the blinker. Most likely we'll blink fast. Here we go. It's blinking fast because it thinks the other light bulb is out. So, but that looks so good.